Okay guys, so today is the day that I get to paint the bottom side of the S10. Finally got my paint. You can see I'm going to use this Raptor Liner. I'm going to give this a try. This is the tintable liner kit. I've got the 6-liter kit, so it's got the 4 liters in there, 2 extra here. Got the hardener, and then I've got color. Hopefully that'll work. That's just color mixed at the local CarQuest, so hopefully that's going to work out for what I need. According to the directions, sounds like per bottle 250 milliliters of the hardener and then 100 milliliters of color to tint it. This S10 has paint code 8624. That's it's got here Summit White. It's supposed to be Olympic White. I think it's the same color. I'm not all that positive, but I think this truck is Olympic White. I looked it up and it seems like that code is interchangeable, but I don't know how it could be. Anyway, hopefully it'll match up. It probably won't match anyway because of the texture or whatever, but I'm gonna give it a try here. We'll see what happens. I went with this stuff. One, I want to see how it does, how it sprays and how it looks and everything, how it holds up. And 2, it's going to be an easy way to coat the bottom side of this truck. Not going to have to do that great a job on my body work down there. This truck is not, really worth, I'm putting a lot of time into it, but where I can save the time, I'm going to save the time. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this just like I did that 98 S10 I had. I'm going to follow the lines there, do the whole bottom side. I got to do something a little different with this body line here. Because of this repair, I burnt some of the paint, so I can't go right on that body line. So what I'm doing is I took a piece of tape. I think this is 3/4, maybe smaller than that, whatever it is, smallest tape they had. I'm going to go that far up on that body line so I can make sure I get this burnt paint and stuff covered. So that's the plan, guys. I got to sit here. I got to get it all masked off. Okay, so hours later now. I got most everything masked up. Got a bigger area back here. This is kind of for experimenting. That's why I'm doing this big area here for the most part. It's not going to hurt it to coat it anyway, so we'll see what happens. These door jambs are a nightmare to mask off. This is going to be the hardest part. If you were just doing the outside of a truck, it wouldn't be so bad, but these rockers are really tough. Got this side done. Like I said, I don't have it all. The tires aren't masked off. The bumper ain't masked off there. But I did use fine line tape to outline everything first, and then I taped it off. It's just this stuff here. Use the 1/4 inch. I've got some 1/8 inch here. This is for like really trying to get some detail. Even this 1/4 inch is hard to turn it, but I mean you can turn it. It's a little easier to turn the 1/8 inch. Like I did there, I went down and kind of swooped. I mean it will, it's like a vinyl, so it will move. So you just got to kind of work it. But now I get to start sanding the truck. Okay, so I've sanded, actually I went with 180, that's what I had. And that's, they say 80 to 180, so I went with 80, or 180. Again, that's so I don't break through all over the place, because if you break through to the bare metal, you got to do primer, so I went with 180. After I did that, I had to go through with my red scuff pad, kind of get all the areas that the sandpaper wouldn't go into, and there's a few areas that your sandpaper is not going to conform to. But anyway, after doing that, I wiped it down with my paint cleaner, same stuff I use when I paint stuff. So it's blowed off, wiped off. It's actually ready to spray now. Like I said, I believe I got everything taped off that needs to be taped off. The plan here is to, I'll have to do the outside first, and then I'll have to open up the door to do the jam. Because I have to get this area right here of the door. Now I primed it last time and I didn't get very good right here because the door was never shut. Can't shut the door because it's going to touch the deal under there if I spray the inside first. So the door can't be shut after I spray the inside. So I'll start with the outside and I'll do the inside. That's the plan. Yeah, I've never sprayed the Raptor Liner before. I'm going to start out and do some practice runs back here. First I got to mix it up and we'll see how that goes. Probably once I mix it up, I'm going to start spraying. I won't be coming back. I'll just come back and give you my thoughts on mixing it up and everything, because I think this says it's got an hour pot life. Okay, so the kit also comes with this gun. It's a pretty basic, pretty cheap looking gun. It's got the deal there where it screws right onto the bottles, which is kind of nice. And I've heard various pressures being said people are using, so I guess I'll just play with it. I'm thinking 60 psi. I seen a guy and I liked what it turned out to be, so I think I'll probably try that and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to do this a little different. I'm not going to mix everything in the bottle. I know they want you to just mix the bottle, shake the bottle or whatever for 2 minutes. I'm actually going to take the bottle and I'm going to dump it in a cup. I'm going to measure out my 250 milliliters of hardener and my 100 milliliters of color. And I'm just going to put it all in this cup here. And then I'll mix that with a stir stick and then I'll pour it back into the bottle. We'll get the gun in there and we'll start spraying that way. I think that's just going to be better. I don't know if they leave enough room in there for the color, so we'll see. I just don't want to have a overflowing bottle and have a mess. So that's how I'm going to start out doing. We'll see how that goes. You can see I've already unmasked this. My first time shooting this, I didn't really want to stop and grab the camera. Really trying to not screw this up. But it went fairly well. You can see that match, that color match is, I mean, it's actually really close. Besides the fact that the top side's shiny, and this stuff really isn't shiny. It's, you know, more of a matte finish. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with the color. I'll get it out in the sun, see what it looks like. But you know, with it having a texture, it's not gonna be the same color, because that's just, you know, when it's textured, it hits the light differently, and usually it's not gonna match that well. But also, I didn't want to grab the camera because I wanted to peel this off quickly before it started to cure, and then had pieces peeling up. Even though I went to peeling it off right away, I still had a few spots that wanted to lift. I ended up going back and touching them up with a little brush, and that worked out really well. Actually, I took that brush when that worked. I took that little brush and I touched up a whole bunch of areas. But I'm pretty happy with it, guys. I mean, it looks really good. I mean, I don't know how it could have turned out much better. I mean, really, I really like the way it turned out. So, okay, so I got the truck completely unmasked, and I haven't taken it outside yet because it rained today, and the directions say not to get it wet for 72 hours, it said. Also, it's been about 20 hours now since I sprayed this. The liner, you can touch it and everything, and it's dry to the touch. Still feels like it's soft. Like you can take your fingernail and push in on it, and it's moving. So it's still soft yet at 20 hours. So I'm not going to shut the doors yet. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to shut the doors. It'll be a little harder. It says a full 5 to 7 days before this is totally cured. So I imagine that is normal. I'm going to give you a few tips here while I'm in the shop and I'm fresh and I remember on how to spray this stuff. I sprayed mine at 60 psi. I can give you an idea. Well, hopefully I can give you an idea on the texture there. It's a nice. It's not. You can rub your hand across it and it doesn't hurt your fingers or nothing. So it's a nice texture. I think it's a good texture for the bottom of a vehicle or even like a whole vehicle. Maybe the bed liner too. You might want it a little rougher if you're going to do the, you know, for a bed liner to be able to kind of hold things. But 60 psi worked out for me. I used a cup to mix it out of the jar. I would recommend, you're going to need a cup with at least 34 ounces there, I would say. These cups here were a little too small. They couldn't take the whole amount of the Raptor liner, hardener, and the color. So I'd recommend a bigger cup like this, and I did what I said. I put the Raptor liner in there, put the hardener, 250 milliliters of hardener, 100 milliliters of the color, mixed it all up in this cup. I used a little funnel here to put it back in the jar, the Raptor liner jar. It wouldn't all fit in there, so I put some of it in there, and then I sprayed it, and then as it emptied out, I just refilled it with the rest that was in there, and that seemed to work out okay. So I would recommend, like I said, at least a 34 ounce plastic jar to mix that. It will not fit in there. If you're using the tintable stuff, it will not all fit in the jar. After cleanup, they recommend that you clean your gun up after every jar. You've got an hour to spray that liner once you mix the hardener into the liner. They say to use acetone to clean the gun between jars. One jar did all I needed to do. I actually had mixed up 2 jars and I had some extra. I hated wasting some of it, but I didn't really have anything to spray. Once I got done spraying, they said to use acetone to clean the gun up. The acetone worked awesome. I actually stuck it in one of these jars and I stuck the nozzle inside there and then sprayed it through the gun to clean it out. That worked really well, and it cleaned the gun out really well. The acetone, if you need to clean this stuff up, the acetone works excellent for cleanup. So those are the pointers, guys, that I have for this. Hopefully tomorrow, like I said, I'll be able to get this out. We'll be able to actually see that color match, how well the color match did. In here, the color match looks excellent. I guess in the next few days, hopefully this stuff's going to get harder. Right now, like I said, it's not quite hard at 20 hours, but hopefully it'll get harder here as the days go by. So there it is outside. Now you can see I also pulled the grill off, painted that while I had it out. But that bed liner is a pretty darn good match. I kind of wish I would have done a better job on some of my body work. Now that it come out so darn nice. I wasn't thinking it was going to come out so nice, but I like it. I really like it. Back come out nice here. This side come out nice. This is actually the better side. The panels fit better. Aftermarket panels fit better, but you can see that bed liner, pretty darn good match. So I'm pretty happy with the results of that Raptor liner, guys. It actually turned out way better than I even thought it was going to. And I'm probably going to use that in future applications if it holds up. Oh, I think we're at day number 4 on the curing process. I can still take my fingernail and crease it. So I'm hoping after 7 days it will be fully cured. You won't be able to do that, so I'll know that after 7 days. But from what I've heard, this stuff is pretty good stuff. So I'll maybe do a video after I've had this on a while, an update, and we'll see how it fares. Should get a pretty good amount of abuse down there on the rocker panels. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.